Car and Motorcycle Club Limited proudly presents their annual STONETHROWERS Rally in 1984. The organising club would like to welcome all rally drivers, navigators, service crew and all rally enthusiasts here to Clonmel town on the 12th of August 1984 for this annual event. Now the STONETHROWERS has been running for approximately 10 years at this stage, and of course the club itself, the Tipperary Club, in fact have been running since 1950, so 34 years ago it all started. As you can see, the town of Clonmel is a hive of activity here, with rally drivers and everybody concerned getting organised for the beginning of the event. This annual event is, of course, the social highlight of the year here in Clonmel, and as we can see from looking around the town, it really is vibrating to the sound of the superbly prepared rally cars, and a great day's rallying is in prospect. Scrutiny is now in progress, as we can see Sean Crow's garage across the road. The final cars are now going through scrutiny, and it won't be too long then before they'll be going through the first control and out onto the first stage. 9 stages in all then for the rally drivers to compete in, and prospects are for a really great day's sport. Tipperary Club have a unique record here, and in particular, apart from having some superb winners of this event on many occasions, it also has the first chairperson of a motor club in Ireland, and that chairperson is Joss Grogan, who's with me at the moment. And Joss, we have sponsors, of course, for this year's rally. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your sponsors?
Well, we've 3 main sponsors: Mars Tractors in Clonmel, Hearns Hotel, Clonmel here, and MF Kent and Company.
Now, sponsorship does mean a lot, of course, to the rally.
It does, of course. There's no way we could run the event without the sponsors.
Now, sometimes rally have problems with people along the route, residents who object and so on, but I believe they're more than helpful, and we were talking to someone during the week. More than helpful, is that true?
More than helpful. There wasn't one complaint from any resident, and they've all been visited on a few occasions.
Now, of course, as a chairperson of the Tipperary Club, we were informed that you have in fact got a posse working for you. Now, would you like to tell us a little about Big Joss and the posse?
Where did you hear that?
We hear all sorts of things. Now, would you like to mention any of the posse?
By looking at me, you know why I'm called Big Joss and the posse anyway.
No, but any of the posse that you would like to mention that have been have given you a good hand over the period of time?
Well, since I took over as chairperson of the club, I think one of the best workers in the club has been Bertie Law. She's secretary of the club and extremely efficient. And David O'Sullivan has done great work for the event. And of course, the clerk of the course.
No, the clerk of the course, Jim O'Brien. Yeah. Tell us a bit about Jim O'Brien.
Oh goodness, what will I tell you about him?
He did himself a couple of years ago, if I remember right.
He still does a little bit now and again.
Okay, well listen, thanks very much indeed for talking to us, and we hope you have a successful year in 1984.
Thank you very much. Lovely talking.
Lady is the secretary of the club, and having spoken to Big Joss and all about her posse, part of the posse that she mentioned was Breda Ryan, the very efficient club secretary. Breda, how many rally cars have we got for the 1984 STONETHROWERS?
Well, 74 and 79 entered, but it's only about, I'm not sure how many have turned up so far. There's a fair few of them.
Now, what about the contacting of these drivers? We have so many good drivers from the north of Ireland all over the place. Any particularly interesting ones that you'd like to mention to us?
Well, from the north we've Bertie Law. Ken McKinstry was to turn up, but fortunately he couldn't get his car ready. Dougie Hoare, Sam McKinstry. Oh gosh, I can't. Looking at them all day and all night, I just can't remember the rest of them. I don't know.
Now, the preparation for the event, when in fact do you start up to get organised for the rally?
Well, at least 2-3 months beforehand. We have to apply for road closing to the county council for all the roads that are closed, and it has to go in the papers.
Now, a little birdie told me that in fact that apart from being the secretary of the Tipperary Club, you're also in fact a post lady and ride a bike. Is this true?
Sullivan, goodbye.
Is it true that up the Clonmel Mountains that you've been seen training with Sean Kiely when he's home?
That is very true, yes, but I didn't think anybody knew about it. Goodbye.
Thank you. Well, the most important man behind any rally is the clerk of the course, and the clerk of the course is with me now, and he's a very busy man, Jim O'Brien. Jim, scrutiny is just behind me here in Sean Course, a very important part of rally, and you being the man involved in safety.
Yes, only with John Heckett and Dick O'Brien inside, I mean, they seem to be tough to a lot of fellas. Only they're only for the safety of the drivers. It's
the most important, of course, the scrutineering of the cars is so important. Spectators are at stake and the rally drivers themselves are at stake.
And normally, I mean, with any rally driver now, he has regard for himself, and I think safety is a big factor. And I think most lads have their cars in perfect condition.
Of course, rally headquarters here and Hearns Hotel next door is very convenient.
It couldn't be handier with a bar and all next door. And I would like to for the use of his garage, and Frank Maher for the sponsor, and MF Kent of Clonmel. I mean, only for them we wouldn't be able to run this event.
We've just after speaking a short time ago to the chairperson of the club and also to the secretary. Unfortunately, the secretary ran away, but Big Joss was very kind to us indeed. Yes, no, a little bit about the chairperson and the secretary.
Well, only for Joss and Breeder Ryan. I don't honestly think we could run this rally, because they seem to spend for the last 2-3 weeks on the phone, ringing up and getting entries, and only for them I don't think there would be any rally, and they are not appreciated, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve.
Well, maybe this will be some of the recognition.
Well, I hope
she didn't
so.
like me mention her riding a bike around as a postbote lady, by the way.
No, well, she has a big Bedford truck of a Saturday morning, I believe, collecting mail out around Knocklofty and a few places like that. We have 95 people involved in running this rally today, and 95 of those are marshals. And without them, I'd say I don't honestly think we couldn't run the rally. And this year we have the phones as well, and there are an awful lot of people have put an awful lot of work into this rally today. I mean, I seem to be just the man in charge. Like, I mean, there are people have done way more work than I have done. People that they'll never even get recognition for it. Like Sully. With his ads, he's the only man I ever saw in the country to have all the ads paid for before the programme was even printed.
Looking at is the beautiful Chevette of number 2, Bertie Law, who was one of the top rally drivers in the country. In fact, the 1983 Shelburne Shell Sport champion. Would you like to tell us how you're doing this year in the championship, Bertie?
So far, things have went very good in the championship. We hadn't a good rally in West Cork. On the first day we had both navigator George Miller and myself had the flu, but after that we had had good results, with the exception with a wee bit of bother in Sligo. Car went off the road, and it was a freak accident. Just, I'm sure everybody knows about it, but I always enjoy coming to Tipperary, and the roads are a mixture of I have a bad memory for stages, but what I can remember of them, we always seem to do well down here, and the people are very friendly, and this is what it's all about.
You've been, obviously, as you said before, and how well have you done before?
Won it, I think, in '79. I think there was only 1 point off winning the championship that year from Ger Buckley. He had two punctures on a stage in this rally. So it has been fairly lucky for me, this rally, and we're keeping our finger crossed for today also.
Just 2 rounds to go now in the championship. How far are you ahead, in fact?
We have a fair lead in the championship. If we get a wee steady run here today and don't go mad, if we finish in the first 3, the championship should be safe. And
your opponents today, do you see any of them coming up to your own standards, so to speak?
Yeah, well, I might be a wee bit off at the start with having the accident in the last event. I haven't been out since, and it's bound to affect your nerves and what have you. But Joe McHale and Dick Bailey and all the local guys, they'll not be far away. I'll not be trying to go away on and leave them sitting.
Yeah, well, we were out, in fact, having a look at some of the stages, and they are magnificent scenery, of course, around here with the Cummeragh Mountains and so on. Now, you've come all the way from the north, and you rally all the way around Ireland. Is there any particular event now that you would like to win?
I think I would love to win West Cork. It's such a good social event, as is this one. But there was a lot of overseas competitors, and the cream of Ireland by there, and
Standard is high.
The standard is very good, and we always enjoy it, and we're very friendly with people from down around that area, as here also. So you like to win sort of every rally, but it's only a sport to me. I don't take it too serious. I enjoy the crack and a bit of friendship and a pint.
And it is, in fact, Bertie Law in the Chevette. Well, we can see that's number 6, that's Liam McGrath from Mitchelstown. Third car through on the first stage is number 9, that's Sean McKinstry from Banbridge. Fourth card through and going very well. Number 8, that's Sean Murphy and Dennis Dunn, all the way from Dublin, showing us great stuff. Well, there was quite a gap between the first one and the second one, but now we have another beautiful escort of number 11. That's Langley Humphreys from Belfast. Going very well. Number 10, that's Gus Carney and Pat O'Shea from Clonmel. That's one of the first local men to go through. Another escort, this time that's number 15. That's Frank Marr from Feathers. Another local man in the escort going exceptionally well. The Avenger, number 14, Eddie Kinnerans from Dublin. And the cars are coming thick and fast now, and you can see this beautifully prepared escort of number 16. That's Jimmy Dean and Dermot Casey from Mallow and the Escort 2000. Forming into that right-hander. That's Sean White and John Tusdell from Clonmel in the Sunbeam, and nearly losing her a bit there. We look up to the top end of the hill, and it's another escort. It's number 18 this time, and that's David Yates from Dunboyne. Number 19, that's Peter Leonard and David Hogan from Nina in the Starlet. Well, they're coming thick and fast now. This beautiful looking escort, number 20, is Martin Daly and Pat O'Donnell from Ballincollig. Well, as we look up the hill, this time we have an Avenger. And they're running in order this time. That's Con Ward and Joe Murphy in the Avenger 1600. Five of the next man, and with these lights blazing, that's John Dennison and Ted Creedon. And really mighty stuff there out of, and you can hear the crowd behind me. That's John Dennison and Ted Creedon from Cove. We have the cadet of number 22. That's Dave Manelli and John Boyd from Carlow in the cadet, the GTE. And this is the first Mark 1 escort that we've seen. And it is in fact number 27, that's Paul Leahy from Dublin. Going quickly, 29. That's Fergal Allen and Des Cullen from County Kildare. The screech of brakes and two of them coming together. Number 32, that's Seamus Carroll. And Noel McEntee then in 31 from Belfast. That's beautiful looking escort of number 30. That's Richard Foley, Watergrass Hill. Three of them coming all together now. 28 there, that's Thomas Cummins, and 37, 38 trying to get in on his inside. Oh, and they're really dicing as they race down towards the right hand. Man, Johnny Sheen had made up a lot of ground, and now we look at that really nice looking escort of number 40. That's Jimmy Lambert and John Lambert from Ardfinnan, the local men. And over on the right as we look at them is number 39. That's Ted Gaffney and Peter Murphy. 42 there, that's Finton Foley from Tralee, and immediately behind him is number 41, that's Fergal Efe. Number 43 there is George Leach in the cadet, he's from Enniscorthy. Number 44, that's PJ Murphy and Michael Welsh from New Ross. That's Kieran Malloy, another cadet, number 45 in the all yellow. And another cadet, we seem to have a lot of cadets in the rally today. Number 46 is Mary, a really well-known driver locally, Mary Maloney and Catherine Tracy. 52 is David Foley, and immediately behind him going is 51. That's David O'Sullivan and Declan Power from Clonmel, a lot of local men. Well, David Sullivan was going well this time, and they seem to be taking it reasonably easy on this corner. We have number 50 going through as Tom Hackett from Mullinahone. Plenty of eyes out of this one. 54, that's Pat Wade and Michael Holmes from Wexford. Well, that's 56. That's Gerard Egan and Jimmy Murphy. And Joe Barry coming immediately behind him and going very well. Oh, Joe Barry driving exceptionally well there and picking up a lot of ground. Oh, yes, number 53. Liam Wall there from Clonmel. And immediately behind him then, number 58. That's John Higgins and Declan Dunphy from Clonmel. Two of them coming together this time. The old Mark 1 going well, number 60. That's Michael Dunn. And the Avengers going well too, number 59. Michael O'Neill and Eddie Shanahan from Waterford. We look up the hill, we've seen this man in action before, and he is number 61. Henry Hogg and John Barker from Nina. Mayor going well, and now we have the first mini that we've seen here on the STONETHROWERS. And it's number 62, that's John Cardew and Gary Rowe from Great. And 127. Normally we see 127s in trouble on rally, but not this one. Number 63, that's Phil Kerwin. Escort this time stoved in a little bit up the front. 64, that's Stephen O'Neill. Well, the Mark 1 Escort seems to be in a little bit of trouble. That's Frank Phelan. Another Escort that looks to have it. He has for sale wrote up on top of her as well. That's number 65. That's Michael O'Neill. Very slowly indeed, and is the Ritmo of number 66. That's Michael Flynn and James Coleman from Ardfinnan. 127. 67. John Malloy. And immediately behind him then another good 127. Number 68. That's Richard Kern. And behind them the little mini of number 69. That's John Nugent and John Hannon. Three of them. Cars gone through, and the STONETHROWERS on the first. Number 70 is in big trouble. Oh, in really big trouble there was Jerry Willoughby. Well, we're about 12 miles in on stage one here on the STONETHROWERS Rally 1984. We're in the beautiful townsland of Knocklasheen, and it's the Ryan's family. Up the top of the road we have Anthony Ryan and Mrs. Annie Ryan, and down here then we have more Ryans. And they seem to be enjoying what's happening here at the STONETHROWERS 1984. We've had some reasonably good action. We're expecting maybe a little bit more, but nonetheless we've had a lot of cars coming through, and you can see the lads waving to us up the top end, and it really is beautiful here in the Nair Valley, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. Looking at the Nair view, and there's fellas having a few pints. In the meantime, the rally drivers are really now trying to get around the various stages, and even though we're in a wonderful tourist spot here in Ballymacarbery, the rally drivers themselves won't have any opportunity to admire the scenery because it's getting as fast as possible from A to B is their problem. And we can see the cars making their way in after stage one, and we're informed, reliably informed, there's at least a dozen cars gone off on stage one, and that's tragic indeed. But as we saw them, Bertie Law was doing very, very well, and this is Martin Long here now in the Mark 1 Escort, and he's boiling a little bit. And there's a man with a bottle of Powers there, and there's water that's in it. In the meantime, more cars start to make their way in here into Ballymacarbery. 63 just coming in there, and the Avenger is looking pretty happy with things as well. You can see him there with his helmet on. Martin Long, 60, is in trouble, and he's... oh, and She is really steaming. And if we look back at the back wing of number 60 there, we can see that he has picked up some botanic specimens from the Tipperary countryside. And if we look down the road a little bit, then we'll see the yellow escort. And he also seems to have made some impact on Tipperary first stage of the STONETHROWERS 1984. Just pulling in there is number 39. After stoving in the wing of that. So plenty of action then here in Ballymacarbery. In the meantime, we continue. First man through on stage 5, and sure it is. Well, next man we're looking for is number 6, and he has terrible problems. Oh dear me. And well, Lee McGrath there chasing Bertie Law, and now we look at this very tough bend here in Turbot, and it is number 8, Sean Murphy and Dennis Dunn going through. And oh. And that was number 15 there, that's Frank Marr from Feather. And dear me, was he in trouble. Well, fast and furious is the action. Are we in trouble this time? Or not, it's number 16. That's Jimmy Dean. Furious is the pace. And now we have another escort. Number 11 there. That's Langley Humphrey. And number 10, Gus. And number 17. Oh, losing her. Oh, taking it. That's Martin Daly. Well, with 7 cars gone on the 5th stage in this really hectic rally and here at this beautiful little village of Turbot. We've left the Comera Mountains in the Nair Valley via Ballymacarbery and Newcastle, and now we're just outside Ardfinnan, and we look up the road. And the first Avenger that we see is number 14. As I was saying to you, that's Eddie Kinneran's gone through, and we have made our way here now to the 5th stage. And instead of having the Comera Mountains, now it's the Knockmail Down Mountains as the background near the V for this really exciting 5th stage of the STONETHROWERS Rally in 1984. Another escort, 18 this time. Thick and fast that they are coming, and it breaks onto the last there from number 40, Jimmy Lamb. Well, the whistle blows to tell us. Number 22 there, David Manelli. 29 is the escort there, Fergal Allen. Over village comes the first Mark 1 escort that we've seen. It's number 27, Paul Leahy and Morrissey from. That's Johnny Sheen going so well. And behind him coming quickly, and they've been fighting a great battle all the way. Richard Foley. Number 43. That's George Leach in the cadet. Immediately behind him, the escort, after having a little say-to with the scenery. Number 35 is Thomas O'Brien from Kent. Going nice and gently there, number 42. That's Finton Foley. The leaders intensify. We now look at number 44. That's PJ Murphy and Michael Welsh. A lot of over-exuberant drivers this time. And number 45, you could see the hand going up there to tell him, get to your... Furious is the pace. And a long way back. Number 9 trying to make up ground. That's Sam McKinstry from Bam. Now we have another cadet. It's number 46 this time. And immediately behind, oh, number 51. Oh, he's driving a storm. That's Davy O'Sullivan from Clonmel. The rally that time, David O'Sullivan going through, and now we look at number 50. Hackett was gone through in 50, but he's standing in fact behind me, and now we're looking at number 53. That's Liam Wall and the nudge from Clonmel in the Fiat 128. Oh, and he's after having a little bit of a time with the scenery as well. 65. Fast and Furious, number 54. That's escort is going very well. And now they really are coming thick and fast, and this more damage here on the left wing there for number 39. That's Ted Gaffney and Peter Murphy. Oh yes, and there he is, Joe Barry. Oh, driving a stormer, Joe Barry, and he's heading for service. The bit's really between his feet, and this is the first 127 that we see of number 63. That's Phil Kerwin. In fact, 62 is the Mini, and that's John Cardew. We're just looking at Joe Barry's Fiat there, and the man working on it, in fact, is Jim Broderick, and Jim follows rallying literally all over the country, and he's one of the crew that Joe Barry depends on so much for help during the service, which we have now just arrived back from Turbot, and this place is literally a hive of activity. As you can see, there's cars and people working frantically trying to get them ready for stages 6, 7, 8 and 9. Well, we've boarded the Toyota and we're now going to have a general look at things and see what's happening here in Ardfinnan. They only have a very short time before the cars are due back out again, so time is vital, and as I said already, there's frantic work being done by mechanics and crews. You can see just going out now is number 22. But this rally has really been fierce, fast and furious with these long stages and tight stages, and we've seen some really excellent action. So, Ardfinnan really has never seen anything like it for a long time, and service, of course, from a spectator point of view, gives them an opportunity to have a look and see what's underneath the bonnets and see exactly what the mechanics are trying to get organised to do. That's number 6, and a really lovely looking car, and one of the 00 cars, of course, is our father, Mickey Maloney, today. Right, well, we're trying to get a look at the escort there of Davy Sullivan, but he's been very good all day, hiding away from us and waving at us now in the background. But I think we might manage to catch that particular gentleman shortly. Well, the Mark 1 escort there heading out to get back out onto stage 6. Number 35 in the escort, he's had a number of problems. And the front of this one is also stoved in after. And this man is ready to go home, even though I don't think he was in fact part of the rally. Oh, Twitty's here. Cheers, she says, and I'm sure it's a pint now. I'd rather be drinking than a cup of coffee at this stage. PJ Murphy, doing well. What happened there? You lost the front. It's at the back, is it? Well, the lads in the Mini and 62, that's John Cardew from Greystones, and they're all in good. Little bit of waving there from the lads. That's Kieran Malloy from Clonmel. How are you getting on? Good. Right, we'll back her up. Now, come on. Come on, Tipperary, yes. Okay, clerk of the course, Jim O'Brien just gone through. We're waiting Bertie Law, but there's no sign of Bertie Law. It is in fact number 6, Liam McGrath, who leads the rally at this stage. We were hoping to see Bertie Law, but there was no sign of him. And now we have Frank Marr, in fact it is, that's coming toward, no, number 11 it is. That's Langley Humphreys, in fact, as they come over the yump. Number 9, that's Sean McKinstry from Banbury. This time we have an astonishing performance from that really marvellous driver. That's Frank Marr. Another, on this time number 10 it is. That's Gus Carney driving a Stormer. This the penultimate stage, stage 8, and that's number 18. And now, Sean White and John Toosdale from it's another escort, this time number 20. Good driving from Martin Day. Two coming together this time. That's the Avenger. Oh, dear me, number 14 there, really hitting it hard. That's Eddie Kinrans. Well, that was Kinrans going well in the Avenger. And now we have another escort this time, and it's number 8. That's Sean Murphy and Dennis Dunn from Dublin. And this is, in fact, Bertie Law. And look at him rise over the ump. And he's way behind, but he's trying to make up the ground now. Well, the 1979 winner has just gone by, and now we have another escort. It's number 29. This is the first cadet that we see, number 22. That's David Manelli. Oh yes, spectacular stuff there out of Jim Dean and Dermot Casey from Mal. Oh, and the really, oh yes, and mighty stuff out of there, and that was 40, Jim Lambert. Second cadet, 37, driving a good race, that's David. Oh, we have the escort, 35. That's Thomas O'Brien. Have the rallies end in the... That's 43, really lifting over the ump. That was George Leach. 38 it was. That was Johnny Sheen, the local man, doing well in his championship. On this, oh, number 24 there, doing really well. That was John. In fact, nearly turned over on the first stage, and there we have number 45, that's Kieran Malloy. Really fast jump this one. Oh, and there he is. That's David O'Sullivan, trying to make it the second time in 9 years that he's completed the really exciting rallying over here. And that's number 50. Number 28, that's Thomas Cummins from New Ross. Oh, very well there, number 46. That's Marie Maloney. Well, the crowds are really enjoying this superb rally, and especially here at the ump, where number 54, that's Pat Wade in the escort from Wexford. The sensation of the rally, more than proving his ability this year, is the great driving of Frank Marr from Feather. But now we have that car back with us again, number 39. And he really is after doing well. Number 39 there, Ted Gaffney and Peter Murphy from Maynooth. They're really enjoying themselves here at the STONETHROWERS Rally in 1984. And it's back down we look for another one to come over this really mighty ump. And it is Joe Barry. That's Joe Barry. Well, that was number 68 there, and we've seen him before. That's Richie Kern from Calvinshire. Well, now the next 127 that we see, number 63 climbing over there between them now, and that in fact is number 66 this time. The third 127, that's John Malloy and Tony Phelan. Right. Well, as we take a final look at the ump, there's a long gap now between the cars, so we take it that they're nearly all gone through here on stage 8. But we've seen some marvellous stuff here, and the battle between the leaders was really intensifying as the top drivers there struggled with each other for supremacy. And we were very surprised indeed to see Liam McGrath leading the rally at that stage. And of course that man Bertie Law, who won it in '79, seemed to have some difficulty, and we'll await with interest to see exactly what happened. Murphy driver and Dennis Dunphy's navigator, and they're just into the final control after 9 hectic stages right around various highways and byways in the area of Clonmel and God knows where else. Exciting rally.
Very exciting. They're very fast stages. I'd say the straights 2 miles long. There's on one stage, another stage there must have been about 4 mile long straight. Very bumpy. Then there were some very tight spots on them as well. But a very good rally.
Now, your overall position, you think you're in second or third?
Well, second or third. I'd say more than likely third.
Now, what about people along the way? Did you encounter any casualties? Did you see anybody? We believe there were some massive write-offs along the way.
Well, we saw a couple off all right, but we were running fairly well up the field, so possibly it was after we'd gone through they went off. But there were some funny marks on the stages the second time around, so...
How did your navigator get on?
No problems at all.
He didn't send you left when you should have been going right or anything?
No, no.
Excellent fella. Enjoyable stone throws for you?
Very enjoyable.
The highlights of the rally was the really excellent driving of this man that's alongside of me here now, and that's Frank Maher. He's a local man from Fedard. You've had a really good stone throws.
Yeah, very good. Very pleased with our run. Few spins, bit of enjoyment. Last stage really enjoyed it the best.
Were you worried about the video a minute any time?
No, well, I didn't see him until my navigator told me I'd gone sideways towards him. I went on Tubbert on the first time round.
Well, Tubbert on the first time round, you did in fact very nearly come to a grinding halt.
Well, we were under pressure there. We were nearly out of petrol and the car was beginning to miss. I was touching the petrol gauge, so I didn't realise the corner was coming up so quick.
Of course, Tubbert has been done before, but it's gone the opposite way.
The opposite way, yes.
Well, now tell me, there was 9 stages. Any particular stage that you really enjoyed?
Last one was the best. We bet Bertie, I think, by 6 seconds in the last time.
I think he was taking it a bit easy, maybe, no?
Maybe he was, but sure.
No, that's a victory in itself.
A victory in itself.
No, you have an excellent navigator. Would you like to tell us a little bit about him?
Well, if he lost a bit of weight, he'd be okay, that's all. We'd carry no spare wheel all day today, so
I see,
I'd allow for the navigator.
Have you lightened the car maybe by putting on special doors or anything? No?
2 fiberglass doors.
Well, that'll count for the little bit of extra weight. It's all these pints you see here in Clonmel.
Our main opposition, Sean White, was...
Yes,
we were under a little bit of pressure from him in the earlier on stages, but I think we managed to...
Now, in your own, you're running in the championship. What are you doing now?
Well, we're leading the Munster overall now. Well, good seat, and we have the Shell Sport, the class in the Shell Sport well ahead too. So.
Okay. Well, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. That was Frank Maher. We're at final control still, and we're looking at number 11. I just have to have a quick look, and it's Langley Humphreys. Number 14. Sorry, number 14. Tell me, you had an excellent drive, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had a good drive, thanks, yeah.
How did you enjoy the stone throws?
Oh, very good event.
Will you be back again next year?
Ah, yeah, hopefully we'll, yeah.
I'm told that some of the stages were extremely long and great for a bit of speed.
Oh, they were indeed. The first stage now was the one we found the worst. I think it's a stage that's done every year, but we didn't know it, and it was a stage that you could very easily go off on, you know. But other than
I'm told a lot of cars that did in fact go off.
They did, yeah. And on the, I think it was the 6th stage, and which would have been the 3rd stage, I think. An awful lot of cars went off on that as well. It was over across the mountains, you know.
Winners of the Stone Throwers Rally have included Donny Keating, Richie Healy, Ger Buckley, Brendan Fagan, Mick and Anna O'Connell, and in 1979 a gentleman came here from the north of Ireland. That was Bertie Law, and he's come back in 1984 to make it a double, and as you can see he's only just in off the rally, and we'll just have a quick word when he locks up the old car. You're sweating a little bit, Bertie.
It's kind of warm out there today.
No,
just the weather.
we missed you on stage 8. You had a little problem, I'm told, at the start of stage 8.
Yeah, we had alternator trouble, it stopped charging. So we changed the alternator and it didn't charge also. So we lost a bit of road time, and the battery was just about high enough to get us through a couple of stages until we changed the battery then. And we might have lost half a minute or so, but hopefully we've still enough of a cushion of a lead, you know.
Yeah. How much of a cushion do you think you have?
I think we've still about a minute and a half or so.
Tight enough.
Tight enough, well, we weren't going mad today, although we were keeping it fairly steady that nobody would creep up, you know, behind us. And as I said to you this morning, I wasn't going to go mad today. It was a wee steady run I was after.
Now, some of the drivers that we've spoken to already have told us that we're quite astounded by the mighty long stretches of road and really fine, 4-mile straights, you could say, to run on. How did you find that in regards to the rally?
I'm not so fond of the long straights with a 2.6 Can only rev the car to about 6,500, 7,000 revs, and Group 1 cars would be taking a lot of time off me on a straight like that. It's also very sore on an engine if you hold it at 7 or 7.5 all the time. We tend to just rev it up and down and vary the revs so that it doesn't throw oil out or blow up or whatever.
Well, there was 9 stages. Any particular stage that you liked more than the others?
I think that last stage I enjoyed it. It's a nice length, 6.5 miles, and although on the very last stage there we weren't driving fast with the battery being low again, but we definitely enjoyed it. It was a good mixture.
Well, we're glad that you're the victorious winner of the 1984, and we hope to see you in 1985.
Well, we hope to come, and hopefully if it's official that we're winners, we hope to come again and try and win it again in 85.
And taking that ratification, that'll be known later on in the evening. We congratulate you on the victory.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. And that was, we hope, the unofficial winner, but later on in the day we'll tell us that. It's the rally for a change. And he's going celebrating shortly, and you can see the navigator. Well, he's a sorry looking sight. And the sweat on this poor unfortunate here. What was it like out there?
Very interesting. With 3 gears on our wagon.
Tell us what about the stages now that we were on stage 8 seemed to be interesting.
That was the one.
Yump.
Oh yeah, that was just after the start. Yeah, it was all right.
Where are you running in your class as a matter of interest?
Don't know.
You're out.
There's the man there that just had it.
Were you purely out for the gallop?
Well, when we lost the second gear, we were gone. Like lost the second gear in the third stage, so after that we were only there for the crack.
Anyhow, you enjoyed the 1984 STONETHROWERS.
Right. Good luck.
Thanks very much for talking to us. Liam McGrath, you were driving a Stormer there. In fact, you were first through on stage 8. What happened to you after that?
The brakes failed on halfway through stage 8. The brakes failed, and we don't have the stage with no brakes, the second half.
Where do you stand in the rally at this stage?
I'd say over that we're lying about 4th or 3rd, depending.
Overall?
Yeah.
Well, did you enjoy the STONETHROWERS 84?
We did, yeah.
Pity about Johnny Sheen, who was doing so well in the championship. How did you fare out today?
Today wins it for us, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
What sort of a run did you have?
We had a good run. We just hit a stone with the exhaust and broke it off. That was about it.
Yeah. Otherwise, the 9 stages went without hitch.
No, nothing happened. No, just clean run.
Once upon a time. What actually happened to you?
Going a bit too quick, I'd say. And a bit of a bridge stepped out in front of me, and I hit it hard.
What stage was that on?
Stage 6. Stage 6. I think I was leading the class on that stage.
And where are you now in the class?
Don't know. Maybe look at you get 3rd or 4th, I'd say. Maybe 4th, I'd say.
Anyhow, you found the STONETHROWERS quite exciting.
Throwing stones, anyway.
Throwing stones in a big way. Okay, thanks very much for talking to us. Very scenery. What happened to you?
We were going on a tightening right-hander, and it just came away at the front and just skidded towards a wall, and we crunched up against the wall. So we just carried on. We only lost about 5 seconds on it.
And what stage was that on?
The first stage of the day. I'd already had 2 near things before that, so it was bound to happen maybe.
What about that poor old navigator? Was he a bit afraid over this thing?
I don't know. Maybe he lifted up his feet or something.
He was sitting so comfortably there.
Yeah, it wasn't too comfortable earlier on, I'll tell you.
And an enjoyable rally.
It always happens on the navigator's side.
Yes, of course the driver always likes to keep it away from himself. One of the sweepers today was Mr. Mickey Maloney, well known around the area, and his daughter of course was driving in it, and driving very well. You had a nice rally, did you?
We did. We had a trouble-free run. The stages were terribly quick. We found the car a little bit underpowered for those long straights. But I think we did okay. We're not sure. We haven't, seen any of the times, so we hope we did okay anyhow.
One hears that it was a very high attrition rate today. Did you see any stuff along the way?
There was a lot of stuff everywhere, I can tell you. There was fellas buried in ditches everywhere. It was so quick that I think people just kind of put the foot down, and then when it came to braking, the stages were so long as well, the brakes just overheated, and I think there was a lot of brake fade during the day.
Now, your navigator today, a very charming lady. We've seen her already earlier on in the day. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to see you at service in Ardfinnan. Would you like to tell us a little about your navigator?
Well, Catherine, actually, her husband's from Clonmel, Billy Tracy, and she's more or less in home territory this weekend. She's from Navan. She's after opening up her own business in Navan, actually. a versatile, a bathroom accessory and tile boutique. So she's been with me now for about 4 years and
doing well with the Opel team.
doing very well, yeah.
You'll be back for the Stone Throwers, no doubt, next year.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. Couldn't miss that on our own club event.
Number 43 here is George Leach, and he thinks he's won his class. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the drive you had?
I don't know whether I've won the class, but I hope I've won the class. I'm leading the Opel Championship, and the 9 points will be great for me. Yes, very much so.
What sort of a drive did you have on the 9 stages?
A little bit up and down because the car wasn't going 100% all of the time, but I think I've done enough like to.
What about Marie Maloney? Another fine-looking Opel there.
Yeah, good Opel, but like I think we may have the edge on her. I hope so anyway.
Okay. Georgie, thanks for talking to us. The Derby Run event is nearing its end, and without any shadow of a doubt, the 1984 Stone Throwers Rally has been more than a success. And the Tipperary Light Car and Motorcycle Club are to be congratulated on the superbly run event. And everybody associated with the event are to be congratulated. All the drivers that we've spoken to have thoroughly enjoyed the day's sport. We know some of them didn't quite make the finish here, the control outside Hearns Hotel, but it has really been a really marvellous rally. We're just going to have a few words now with the clerk of the course to finish off the rally, Jim O'Brien. Well, the clerk of the course has had a very, very busy day, and he also has arrived back here at the final control. Jim O'Brien, it's been a marvellous day according to the rally drivers. Along the way, you've met a number of things. Would you like to tell us anything about what happened?
Mercedes on stage 3, we came around the bridge and we met a Mercedes head-on. Now, how we both escaped, I don't know. Anyways, got away with it. That was the only problem we had all day. And the chap with the Mercedes got in on a by-road. Just over this.
Tell me, high attritions are normally the order of the day in most rallies, of course, and this one in particular has been a little bit more so than normal years. A lot of carnage around the place.
Yes, I'm sorry for a lot of lads that didn't finish, and looking at the cars around me, there seems to be a lot of damage done. Now, the stages weren't bad. The stages were very fast, very dry, and I suppose just that most drivers were going just too fast. And I would like to thank Sean Crowe with his Fiat Ritmo, who drove me around, only I don't honestly think I would have him driving me again. We had a couple of very narrow escapes.
The rally itself, from an organisational point of view, has proved to be a success, marshalling and so on.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say, never before did we have these phones, these radios, and I don't honestly think after 10 years running the Stone Throwers, I would run the Stone Throwers again without these phones. Because when we came off stage 1 even today, I could hear the lads organising stage 5 to make sure that was ready. And I think, to me, anybody running a rally, they are the ideal, or they are the answer to any clerk of the course's problem.
Now, of course, you have the mighty problem of sorting out all the various classes. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the class? What does the actual winner get this afternoon?
Yeah, he will get £200 in cash, and, well, maybe a cheque, not cash, and a trophy, and we have a perpetual trophy as well.
What about the down the classes now? You have a lot of good drivers, of course, locally.
Yeah, we've now a lot of in the 1300 class now. I mean, the winner of that class will get £50 and 2 trophies. Second will get 2 trophies, and third will get 2 trophies. And to me, I have been running the Stone Throwers for the last 10, 12 years, and I run it for the club, man. I think we're the only rally in the country run up to a 1050 class with suited Fiat 127s, minis. We're the only club left in the country running this kind of a class. And I really run the rally for ordinary club members, not for the big boys or anything like that. We appreciate if they turn up. Only it is for ourselves and for our own club lads who have been so helpful throughout here. And there's one other thing I would like to say before you finish, is I have never seen, in the last 10, 12 years, while I've been running the Stone Throwers, I have never seen so many marshals being so enthusiastic about running a rally. And only for them today, I don't think we would have a rally. Every stage we came to, everything was spot on. Rally cars were there on time. There was no delay at any stage. They were only talking to me on the radio just to know would they leave them off, and I had to keep them there because they were there before the start, their due time. And only for the marshals. Never in my life have I seen marshals so enthusiastic about running the rally.
Of course, Jim O'Brien, thanks very much indeed.